Let's get another song if you're ready.
All right, let's do. This is one that's if there was a popular song in this genre, this is one of them. It's called Speranze Perdute. It's a waltz that a lot of people have recorded, but Barrett and I wanted to record it because I had a version of this by a mandolin player named Giovanni Vaccari from Sicily, and I just love the way he played it. And I thought we kind of came up with a cool version of this tune. So Speranze Perdute.
WNCW, Mike Guggino and Barrett Smith. A little waltz thing there. The song is called
Speranze Perdute, Lost Hopes.
The music is so elegant. And I was thinking about, music can be kind of low culture or it can be high culture. Like jazz used to be low culture, but then it became high culture with an attitude. Like, does that apply here with the music you're playing?
That's an interesting take on it. It's definitely both. I mean, it's folk music, but I don't know. There's something kind of classy about it.
It's interesting, this music, where it lies, and I've talked about this with some different people, and it's folk music, but it's also semi-classical.
Yes,
it's both. Like the people that were playing this music and composing this music around the turn of the 20th century were definitely could read music, were classically trained. You know, a lot of them were violin players too. They could all read music. They could actually write the music. Some of this music that we learned, that we put on the record, we had only had sheet music for. We'd never heard a recording of it, and that's why we wanted to record it. So we had these charts with the mandolin 1, the mandolin 2, and the guitar part. So it was a trio. And there's lots of that music out there. And we hadn't heard what it sounded like. And it was really cool. You know, so yeah, and we both read music and have classical training, you know, background, but we're folk musicians, we're bluegrass musicians too, you know.
Yeah, I was wondering, like Barrett in particular, the guitar, the classical guitar background, is that transfer over to this at all, or are you really doing a different thing here when you're?
It definitely transfers. It's like some of the technique does, and I mean, and just like kind of just some of the confidence to be able to pull some of those things off, because some of that classical guitar stuff is so hard.
Right.
And, you know, I remember whatever, it was a long time ago now, but learning it, and it made me feel like I could take on some of these technically challenging things and at least halfway pull them off. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I met Barrett. We were both in college. I was going to college at UNC Asheville, and he was going to UNC Chapel Hill, and he was friends with Woody and Graham and some of the other guys in the Steep Canyon Rangers right when the band was getting started. And I met Barrett at a show. I'd been hearing about him from these guys, that there's this guitar player, Mike, that you should meet because he plays classical guitar and jazz, and he also plays bluegrass, and his name's Barrett. I met him at a Tony Rice, David Grisman concert at the acoustic stage in Hickory in, like, what was that, 97 maybe? And we met, and when I started getting into this music around that same time period, I knew that he was the person that I wanted to do this with, because he did have that background. It's like, okay, here's a guy that can play bluegrass and understands like this whole like old time folk music kind of thing, but he also can read music, and there's this sophisticated side to this music that you can't just, it's kind of hard to just play it if you don't have some sort of understanding of chords and theory and a little bit of that stuff too.
I was wondering, just watching you play, trying to figure out what are the chord progressions.
You know,
He was trying to figure that out too.
I'm kidding. I mean, they like bluegrass music or anything. There are some pretty common patterns that, I mean, getting into it, they start to repeat themselves in different keys over and over again. So it becomes a little bit predictable. But I'd say, like, chord-wise, harmonically, it's definitely a little more of a sophisticated folk music, more so than others. You know, like it's chordier.
Yeah.
It's like 3 chords in the truth. And
You'd be
5 more chords.
You'd be surprised how similar this music is to old time and bluegrass music. We find it all the time. You know, a lot of those songs are in A major and D major and G major, and these songs are all in A minor and D minor and G minor. But you know, there's this, and that's because of just like old time music. It's because of the open strings of the violin and the fiddle. It's the open strings of the mandolin. So those are the keys that they compose these mazurkas and tarantellas and waltzes in.
That's interesting stuff. Barrett Smith is playing guitar, Mike Guggino on mandolin, and they're playing Sunday night at the Parker Concert Hall at the Brevard Music Center with Beppe Gambetta playing guitar. And I think 7:30 is when I saw that show get started.
Yep.
Something like that. And I should mention again, Mia Dolce Farfalla, or more or less, that's the title of the new record.
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
Yeah,
you got it.
Beautiful stuff. So,
and the album is all instrumental music. Like, we really wanted to preserve that, but we sing a lot too.
Yeah, when I heard you a couple years ago at the Porter Center, there's a lot of vocal stuff. It was really great. So.
Yep.